Also, I
Pretty
love the part
good.
where it goes like, "It's the video game you want," and I'm sitting here in 2025. I'm like, "Wow, that sounds good."
It does sound
Still
good.
is the video game we want.
That's
All
big
right.
birthday in the video game space. Apparently, it is Sega's 65th birthday. 65 years old here. And they're giving away 65 games. They tried this, by the way, this feels very like late 2000s comedy here, which that's fine. But you can win 65 Sega games. They don't tell you what they are, but you can win them, which, hey, Sega has had a great run. Obviously, they were leaders in the video game industry for a long time, still doing very well for themselves. Do you have a favorite game that from either, I don't know, the Mega Drive or just a Sega game in general that you really enjoyed?
The original Sonics are, of course, the best ones.
Blabs has played Sonic before. Not very well.
I accidentally drowned him.
Yeah. I will say this. There is truly not a more terrifying point in any video game than when Sonic is drowning.
Save him, no.
I mean, it's really messed up. The Sonic drowning music that you hear, I mean, it definitely gives most people PTSD here. Here you go. Here's a listen of it. Yikes.
Fatality. You know what's
I remember
ironic,
that
though?
sound.
Everybody does. It's the worst. It's scary.
I actually just watched the movie She's All That. Not my first time watching it yesterday, but like they were talking about playing Sega yesterday. They're like, let's go play some Sega. Let's go play some Sega. And like today is the anniversary. That's just a little bit ironic.
Well, She's All That was from 1999.
1999. Yeah, I know. But it's just funny that ironic. I put it on yesterday to watch, and I was like, "Oh my god! Oh yeah!" They have a whole like, "Let's go play some Sega."
Well, yes. First of all, She's All That is a really fun teenage sex comedy.
It's a funny movie, that's for sure.
Arch, you ever seen She's All That before?
It doesn't ring any immediate bells.
Oh man, it was a classic. It was an American classic starring Freddie Prinze Jr. and Rachel Lee Cook.
Yeah, let me see if maybe this image right here. Where is image in new tab? There we go. Maybe that helps. Zoom. Does that look familiar?
No.
I tried.
But it looks very much so like that was on television when I was young.
Yes.
Hey, if you would have seen it, you would have known it, you would have lived it, you would have loved it, Arch. Anyway, so yeah, they were playing Sega in that. But I thought it'd be interesting, thanks to low effort video game posting. Appreciate that, Daniel. Posted the classic Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Genesis ad. Did you ever see this, Arch? Surely you've seen the Genesis does ad.
We didn't get ads for anything interesting in Norway.
You just didn't have ads?
Whoa. Whoa.
We just had ads
whoa.
for boring things.
You never seen the Genesis does commercial before?
Almost certainly not.
What? This is amazing. Okay. In America, Arch, this was one of the most iconic, game-changing ads when it came to the Super Nintendo versus Genesis console war in the 90s. The slogan was simply, Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Because the Genesis was the vastly superior technological console at the time, and the Super Nintendo hadn't come out yet. Blabs, have you seen this?
I feel like I have, but I can't remember it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're watching this now. Arch, be ready to have your mind melted and want to go out to buy Genesis right now.
Who does the first ever 8-meg game, the ultimate in gameplay, voted game of the year? Who does the third generation of the hot arcade hit Shinobi and lifelike 16-bit graphics? Genesis does. Genesis does. Genesis does. Genesis does. Genesis does. Who gives you 2 stereo speakers free so you hear the great stereo sound of Genesis? Genesis does. Just buy any 3 Sega Genesis brand games before March and get 2 stereo speakers free.
Okay. That's one of them. It is pretty good. That's the second one. Here's the original one, which I need to show you this. This was the original that you're like, oh my gosh.
Genesis does.
16-bit arcade graphics.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does.
16-bit sports action.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis
Does.
Genesis
Does.
Genesis
Does.
Genesis
Does.
Genesis does.
Get Joe Montana free, Pat Riley free, Buster Douglas free, Super Monaco GP free, or Collins free. What Nintendo don't? Buy a 16-bit Genesis system between now and October 31st and get an extra.
I miss the days when companies would take the piss out of one another.
Yeah, I like that.
Right? Like, I feel like any sort of advertising we do should just be punching other podcasts in the balls. We should, like, that's how we should promote. That's how we should add with that sweet early 90s style and vigor. I love it. It's so good. I love everything about that. So it's your first time seeing that before, Art.
Yes.
Do you feel like you need to go spend money on a Sega Genesis right now?
No, but I have more weapons I need to purchase.
What about you, Blabs?
No,
Oh,
I feel like I should go emulate something instead.
but you know what I'm saying though. If you were a kid and you were watching that on TV, you're like,
Yeah, it's definitely persuasive. It's done the job that's supposed to do.
it tells
for
you
sure.
everything you need to know about their console. I think that's the second best video game ad ever. Personally, there was a Super
What's
Nintendo.
the first one?
I'm glad you asked, Blabs. Yes, there's
You
a.
kinda left that one for me.
That's right. There's a Super Nintendo commercial that featured Super Mario World, and it is a. Let's see if this is it. Yes, this is it. This tells you everything you need to know. This is, for me, the perfect video game ad because any questions that you have about the Super Nintendo and or Super Mario World are answered immediately. Here we go.
Introducing the next generation from Nintendo, New Super Mario World, created especially for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's a bit more exciting, a bit more challenging, a bit more graphic, a bit more colorful, a bit more realistic, a bit more levels, a bit more secret, a bit more enemies, a bit more friends, a bit more sound, a bit hotter, a bit cooler, a bit weird, a bit more revolutionary, a bit more Mario, a bit more of what you want. It's 16-bit, and it's yours only if you get New Super Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
Also, I love the
Pretty
part
good.
where it goes like, it's the video game you want. And I'm sitting here in 2025 and like, wow, that sounds good.
It does sound good.
Still is the video game we want.
That's
A
right.
video game I want. What a revolutionary fucking concept.
That's right. So I feel like we should just take all these old commercials and reskin them and totally lack all originality and just reskin them from in the podcast space and present them like that, side
A
scrollers.
bit more, a bit more, a bit
Yeah,
more.
right. A bit more Blabs, a bit more Craig, a bit more Arch, whatever. And it's like, just kind of go down the line and a bit more milk bags and have fun with it. I don't know. Like, I love classic video game ads, and we don't see that type of advertising today. And those ads for me tell me like everything that I need to know, like literally everything I need to know about those games in particular and why I need to buy them, which I love. So, hey, happy birthday, Sega. What is your what is your favorite Sega Genesis game? Let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear it. Speaking of Blabs, I'm sorry, I was going to wrap that up, but do you know? Let's see, Sega Genesis intros. There was a entire at the beginning of the Sega any sort of game back on the Genesis or Mega Drive. And I realize we're sitting here talking consoles, Art, and I know you're probably just wildly upset at this idea. But they used to, at the front of these games, they would customize the intro where, sometimes you get Sega and sometimes it'd be like, Sega! And sometimes you'd have different characters walking in. That was kind of like an ongoing bit that you'd see on these Genesis games. Pretty fun stuff. But I couldn't find a video of all them. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, yeah, here we go. We got a logo compilation. It's an hour. This video is an hour and 42 minutes long of just logo compilations for the Genesis.
No way.
Give it up for the
How
dude.
many views does this have?
It says 457,000 views. Yes. So you can go and you can see like how it was modified for all these different games. And this is just so fun. I loved seeing these little things in front of the Genesis. Let's see. You can kind of see how it went. Different
He's
probes.
on mute, by the way.
Oh, I know. It's fine.
Okay.
But these were fun. This is Eternal Champions here was, you'd see kind of how they'd come in and they'd beat it up. How cool is that? Anyways, love that stuff. Love to see that return. Saw that with other companies back then. So very fun stuff. Okay. Anyways, I can nerd out about this stuff all day long, and I will. There you go, Blabs. Hey, YouTube suggested that you should watch this video too, so you should probably do it.